After 60, there has one emotion that makes a man fall in love faster than intimacy. Male psychology. Intimacy doesn't make an older man fall in love, it only creates pleasure, not attachment. A man can share a bed without sharing his heart. After 60, men don't fall in love because of affection, attention, or desire. Older men fall in love when a woman changes the way we feel about ourselves in her presence. That's the real trigger. That's what creates devotion. Hi, welcome back to my channel. It's Vernon again. In today's video, I'm going to walk you through the 5 psychological pillars of how mature masculine love actually forms after 60 and why emotional connection. Before we go deeper, if you're serious about understanding male bonding psychology and how to connect with men emotionally in ways that lead to real commitment, hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. I share wisdom on love, dating, and relationships after 60, the kind of emotional intimacy secrets. The issue. Let's begin and step into the truth few ever speak aloud. A man falls deepest for the woman who alters the story he tells himself about who he is. 1. He loves the woman who changes how he sees himself. A man doesn't fall in love with the woman who makes him feel good. He falls in love with the woman who makes him feel like a better version of himself. This is the core of male emotional attachment. It's not about pleasure, it's about identity. The issue when a woman walks into a man's life and he suddenly finds himself wanting to be more disciplined, more thoughtful, more purposeful, that's when love begins. Not when she compliments him, not when she's affectionate, but when her presence creates an identity shift, when he looks in the mirror and sees someone he respects more because she's in his life. After 60, men have lived long enough to know the difference between a woman who entertains us and a woman who elevates us. The woman who elevates us, she doesn't do it by praising everything we do. She does it by believing in the man we're becoming, not just the man we are. This is one of the most powerful emotional triggers for men that creates long-term devotion. When you see potential in him that he's forgotten, when you remind him of strengths he's buried, when you treat him like the man he's capable of being, you're not just attracting him, you're reshaping how he sees himself. And that's how you make a man commit at the deepest level. I've watched men after 60 completely transform because one woman saw them differently. Not because she was beautiful, not because she was convenient, but because in her eyes he became someone worth becoming. Men fall in love through transformation. We fall in love with the woman who changes our internal story about who we are. That's the emotional connection building that lasts decades, not days. In the words of Carl Jung, the meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed. When you understand that love for a man after 60 is about transformation, you understand everything. And when a man feels himself becoming someone he's proud of, something new begins to open in him, something even more vulnerable. 2. He loves the woman who makes him feel irreplaceable. Let me share something most men won't admit out loud. We don't fear being alone nearly as much as we fear being replaceable. Being alone is a choice. Being replaced means we didn't matter enough. And for men after 60, men who've built careers, raised families, survived losses, the deepest question we carry isn't, am I successful? It's, am I irreplaceable? This is critical to understanding male psychology and love. Feeling and feel desired by many women, but feeling irreplaceable, that's rare. The issue, that's the emotion that makes men loyal, that triggers his heart in ways intimacy never will. I remember when my friend Eleanor, 61, told me about her partner James. She said, "Vernon, I don't just tell him I love him. I tell him why no other man could do what he does. I tell him the specific ways. His presence changes my life. I make him feel like he's not just a good man, he's the only man who could fill his role in my world." And James, he told me later, I would walk through fire for that woman. The issue not because she needs me, but because she makes me feel like I'm not just another option. I'm her choice, and she reminds me why. That's the difference. Feeling needed makes a man feel used. Feeling irreplaceable makes a man feel chosen. And when a man feels chosen not for what he provides, but for who he is, that's when you've touched something deeper than his desire. You've touched his significance. This is how you deepen romantic connection and build long-term devotion after 60. You don't just show appreciation. You show him that his specific qualities, his humor, his patience, his way of listening are things you couldn't find in anyone else. You make his presence feel singular, as Antoine de Saint-Exupéry wrote. You become responsible, forever, for what you have tamed. In other words, when a man feels that he matters to you in a way no one else could reach, you've tamed his heart, and he becomes responsible to that bond. Intimacy can be shared with anyone, but irreplaceability. That's the foundation of how to win his heart completely. Has anyone ever brought out a better version of you? Tell me in the comments. Someone reading may need to hear your experience. And once a man feels chosen in that rare way, his heart becomes willing to reveal a part of himself he normally guards. 3. He loves the woman who makes his presence feel powerful. Here's a truth about men that most relationship psychology tips overlook. An older man falls in love through impact. He falls in love with the woman who makes him feel like his presence makes life better. Not just for him, for her, for the people around him, for the world they're building together. When a man is with you and he sees that your mood lifts, your stress decreases, your confidence grows, he feels powerful, not in an egotistical way, in a purposeful way. The issue, like he's not just taking up space, he's adding value. This is one of the most overlooked aspects of male emotional attachment. Men after 60 have spent decades asking themselves, does my life matter? Am I making a difference? And when a woman enters his life and he sees tangible evidence that yes, his presence creates positive change, that's when about feminine energy attraction done right. It's not about being helpless or dependent. It's about showing him that when he shows up, life shifts. When he walks into the room, you feel safer. When he speaks, you feel understood. When he acts, things improve. Let me be clear. This isn't about inflating a man's ego with fake praise. This is about recognizing the real impact he has and reflecting it back to him. After 60, men are tired of being invisible, tired of feeling like background characters in their own lives. When you make him see that his presence is powerful, not just pleasant, you trigger something primal in how men fall deeply. Men fall in love through impact, not intimacy. We bond with the woman who makes us feel like we're contributing something meaningful, not just consuming pleasure. Viktor Frankl once said, "Those who have a why to live can bear with almost any how." When you become part of a man's why, when he feels his presence in your life serves a purpose deeper than companionship, you've won his heart at the core. If this is resonating with you, share this video with a friend, or post it in a group where men need to hear this. Because too many men are chasing the wrong things, trying to win love through performance instead of presence. Help wake them up, because when a man feels his presence has real impact, something even deeper wakes up inside him, the longing to be seen for who he truly is. 4. He loves the woman who makes his strength visible. There's a kind of loneliness men rarely talk about. It's not the loneliness of being alone. It's the loneliness of being unseen. After 60, most men carry strengths that no one notices: quiet patience, hidden wisdom, unspoken sacrifices. We carry them in silence because we've learned that most people don't see them. And after decades of being invisible in the ways that matter most, we stop expecting to be seen. Then a woman comes along who notices not the surface things, not the car, the career, the accomplishments. She sees the man beneath. Randy sees the way he listens when others interrupt, the way he holds his tongue when he could lash out, the way he carries weight without complaining. And when she names it, when she says, "I see how patient you are, even when you're frustrated," something shifts, because being seen is more intimate than being touched. My cousin Joseph told me a story I'll never forget. He said, "Vernon, I knew I loved my wife the moment she told me, "You're the kindest man I've ever known," but not because you're soft, because you're strong enough to be kind. No one had ever said that to me. Everyone saw my kindness as weakness. She saw it as controlled strength. I felt like she saw me for the first time in my life. That's the emotion that makes a man fall in love faster than intimacy. Not because you make him feel good about himself, but because you make him feel seen as himself. This is the essence of how to trigger his heart and create emotional safety for men. When a woman identifies the hidden strengths in a man, the ones he doesn't brag about, the ones he stopped hoping anyone will notice, she becomes irreplaceable. Because she's not just loving him. The end being witnessed is the deepest form of connection. This is how you connect with men emotionally after 60. You don't just appreciate what he does, you see who he is, and when a woman can see the strength he never speaks about, it unlocks the final truth about how men love, a truth most people overlook. 5. He loves the woman who makes him feel chosen, not needed. Let me tell you the difference between being needed and being chosen. Being needed feels like obligation. Being chosen feels like celebration. And men, especially men after 60, don't fall in love with women who need them. A woman who needs you makes you feel like a solution. A woman who chooses you makes you feel like a prize. But when a woman makes it clear that she has options, that she has a full life, that she's whole on her own, and still she chooses you, that's when a man falls in love at the soul level, because you're not with him because you have to be. You're with him because you want to be. This is the deepest emotional trigger for men when it comes to long-term commitment. It's not about being the hero. It's about being the choice. It's knowing that if you walked away, she'd be okay, but she's staying because you add something to her life that no one else can. After 60, men are done being projects. The issue, we're done being the safety net, the backup plan, the better-than-nothing option. We want to be wanted, not needed. And the woman who communicates that, not through words, but through the way she shows up independently, confidently, whole, she becomes the woman we can't imagine life without. You don't chase, you don't cling, you don't make your happiness dependent on him. You live fully and you invite him to join that fullness, and when he realizes you're choosing him from a place of abundance, not scarcity, that's when you've triggered his heart completely. Save this video. The issue, come back to it when you need a reminder about how men form real love after 60, because this isn't information you hear often, and it's information that changes everything. If you've watched this far, you now understand something most people never grasp about male psychology and love. Men after 60 don't fall in love through pleasure, through intimacy, or through chemistry. We fall in love through significance, through identity, through emotional truth. We fall in love with the woman who makes us feel like we're becoming someone we're proud to be, the woman who makes us feel irreplaceable, powerful, seen, and chosen. These aren't tactics to manipulate a man's emotions. These are the deep, often unspoken needs that drive how men fall deeply, and why emotional connection building always wins over physical attraction in the long run. This is about understanding the triggers that build love at a foundational level, and how to attract commitment that lasts. After 60, men know the difference between what feels good and what feels real. We know the difference between desire and devotion, and we know that the woman who touches our identity will always mean more than the woman who touches our skin. Have you ever felt a moment when a woman didn't touch your body but touched something much deeper? The part of you that decides who you are? Share your story in the comments. Your experience might be exactly what another man or woman needs to understand themselves or the person they love. If this resonated with you, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and explore the other videos where we dive into the emotional intimacy secrets, relationship psychology tips, and the real wisdom about love. And I'm Vernon. Thanks for watching till now, and see you in the next video.